This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It's the weigh-in, Wilder Fury 3. I'm joined by the Haymaker. Are you currently a professional boxer still?
No, I haven't had a professional boxing match for 3 years, over 3 years. Had an exhibition bout, so I'm still retired.
Okay, we're going to come back onto that very shortly. Honest opinion. Now, you've been famously wrong in your opinions with Wilder and Fury in the past, but you've put your hands up and said you got it wrong. So this time, how are you seeing it?
I was kind of sitting on the fence for a while, and this week I've heard from people that I trust the opinion that Wilder, for the second fight, the fight that many of us have judged him on, he had one arm in that fight. He only had a left hand in that fight. His right hand was not there. And he didn't have it going into the fight. He didn't have it during the fight. And he had an operation on that arm after the fight. No one's mentioned that. Everybody mentions the heavy suit that he wore as the reason or excuse. And he poisoned water. I think those excuses were kind of red herrings to distract everyone from the fact that he actually had a legitimate issue with his shoulder. So everyone then writes him off for this third one. I think we're going to get a Wilder who, in the first fight, nearly knocked Tyson Fury out. So I've never done this before, but I'm going to wipe out the whole second fight. If Wilder did have one arm going into that fight, I can't judge him on that performance. I just can't judge him. I've just got to ignore it actually happened and go. And I rewatched last night the first fight. And as a result of that first fight, ignoring the second fight, I've got to say Wilder knocks him out.
David, all due respect, how can you do that? How can you ignore the second fight and base your opinion on that?
I'm ignoring it because I believe truly that he had one arm in that second fight. I watched he threw two big right hands that weren't the same right hands that Wilder normally throws. It was just from a real wide angle. He just couldn't get off. And if he couldn't throw that right hand, then I completely understand why the fight went exactly as it did. I don't know, I think there's been a mad kind of conspiracy to keep that information about his right arm away so everyone judges him on that performance. Even in Fury, imagine Fury going into a fight against someone he really believes he's completely wiped out. What motivation is there for him to train as hard as he could train, to be as diligent as he could be, to really, really nail it on? I think he's overlooked Wilder because he's judging him on that performance with one arm. He took those right hands and thought, I can take his right hands, but how about if they were right hands with a dodgy shoulder or bicep detached? So I'm coming from a completely different angle. I'm judging, I'm ignoring the second fight, so I'm going to watch the first fight again and think, okay, if Wilder isn't wild like he was in the first fight and he throws a lot more body shots, I think then he's got a very, very strong chance of knocking Tyson Fury out. Very strong chance. So, and the odds as well, you get like 3-1 for a Wilder knockout. So if I'm going the opposite way to everybody else. I haven't met one other person, not one. I've never had that before. There's always other people who kind of, literally, I'm the only guy who sees it this way. But maybe it's because I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Yeah, maybe.
So, you are picking Wilder to beat Fury this week?
In a massive upset. We had a crazy upset a couple of weeks ago with Usyk beating AJ. I didn't see that one happening. No, I was unaware that Anthony Joshua was going to go and have a jab-for-jab boxing match with Usyk. If I'd have known he was going to do that, then obviously I'd say, you won't win that game. But I thought he was going to just use his size and just grind it out, which he didn't do. So stuff happens. You see it one way and it goes another. But I'm really excited about this fight because if Wilder is back to the similar form than he was in the first fight, I think we've got ourselves a massive shootout. And I like the fact that Tyson Fury is saying he's going to come straight across the ring and go at him again, because then you're going to be guaranteed fireworks. You're going to be guaranteed an absolute barnstormer of a heavyweight showdown. And if Tyson Fury isn't in the best shape, he's going to double down himself on those tactics of just bum rushing him. He doesn't have the element of surprise in the third time now. So I think this is I think it's interesting. I'm looking at the look on your face. You're like,
Listen. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I think people discrediting or discounting Wilder for this fight absolutely shouldn't do so. So, but I'm sure Sunday, regardless of what the result is, I will hunt you down, David, in Las Vegas, and you're either going to be.
I'll be around. You can come and find me.
I've got to ask you about. Is there a situation with John Fury or not? I mean, has he called you out? I think he has.
I'm a retired boxer. The only fight I'd come back for is Tyson Fury. That's it. But if he gets sparked tomorrow, then the only reason I'd go back is he's considered number one. And if you're going to come out and put yourself through it and go for one last big one, you want to do it against the number one. And if he loses tomorrow, then that'd be that. But it was one of those random things that, knowing his style, knowing what he best, knowing, the way the way he sees me, and the fact that his dad, he's 60 years old, reckons he wants to fight me, shows me that none of them take me serious. So that mindset, I think, could play a part in tomorrow's fight. The overlooking people or thinking someone's past the best or thinking just because you beat them one way really easy you can do it again. That mindset can be negative if you get it wrong, and everyone will get it wrong with me.
Okay, well listen, appreciate your time. I know you're doing bits and bobs here today, so listen, Sunday, it's a normal Sunday thing for me to come and find you and look over what's happened. Yeah,
it's going to be amazing. I think the fight, it's going to be real tasty, real quick. Both fighters, there's so much on the line. I think, like for instance, I heard Tyson Fury changed hotels today. The day before the fight, he's changed it to a whole nother hotel. I'm here. I haven't heard good things coming from that side at all. So if Tyson Fury isn't better than he was the last time out or anything around then, I just don't see how he's going to get himself up to put himself in a position through training to pay the price like he did the second time round after it gone so easy for him. He didn't want the fight. So it's the way I see it. And Sunday is going to be an interesting conversation. When Wilder does the unthinkable. One massive upset with Anthony Joshua losing all those belts and Wilder potentially taking the WBC title. We'll have no titles in Britain left, which would be an absolute shocker in 2 weeks after ruling the world for a long time, to have all those belts taken away potentially. I want the best man. I want the best man to win. But I just think everybody's seriously underrated Wilder. If his right hand wasn't there for the second fight, it's a different angle.
It's fine. But again, you're entitled, and I don't think you're like not looking at you thinking to yourself what you talk, because this is the old cliche of heavyweight boxing, and also Wilder is in it for. While he's still standing, he's always in it. So you've got to go and do some work. I can feel, that you need to go and do some work. But listen, Sunday, we'll have a catch up.
Let's do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, David Haye.